Hello everybody and welcome to your weekly forecast. This is for the week of September 25th and this goes from a Monday through a Sunday. As always, I separated into a few parts and I just want to outline that before I get into the reading. The first part is, of course, channeled information. The way to think of this is like a bird's eye view of everything going on for all signs. We go a little deeper and more specific next with blessings and blocks. These are the things that present opportunities and possible roadblocks for the week. And then we take a look at the energy of each of the 7 days of the week. I'll pull 7 cards, and I end with specific guidance for each of the zodiac signs at the end, so stick around for that. And of course, if you're impatient or just want to go straight to that, I do pull out the time codes, and it's in the description area right below the video. All right, let's now jump straight into that channeled information. As I was meditating and really taking in what the main message should be for everybody this week, it's to not take yourself so seriously. Which of course is like the hardest thing for many of us because we care a lot about success or how we're received in the world or how people are perceiving our energy, our accomplishments, etc. But be that as it may, the message this week is to let your ego fall away. And you want to think maybe of a beautiful flower opening. When it's closed up and when you're holding on tight, you're actually not letting the world see everything that you have to offer. So I want you to open yourself up to different points of view, to the fact that maybe you don't know the right way or that maybe someone else is revealing their own self and you're taking it personally. So listen, observe, and release. Let your ego fall away and really realize that part of that is going to allow you to propel forward because I never really paid attention to it until I looked at the word on paper, but ego does actually have the word go in it, and I think that that's going to be a conduit for all of us this week to get to the next step. So if you're feeling blocked, or if you're feeling like you need to step away from something, that might be the right thing, but just don't let your emotions, your pride, or your ego get in the way of seeing what the bigger lesson is or the opportunity for the situation. Let's now take a look at blessings and blocks. As I said, that's higher and lower frequency energy. We'll start with the high frequency energy, and this is going to be the big opportunity for the week. Your blessing for the week is the idea of renewal. Whenever I see cherry blossoms, I think of coming through a difficult period and emerging in a place where new growth, new beginnings, and a sense of renewal is starting to take place. Now this card was reversed, which may mean that you, again, may not recognize what's going on, and that was some of the beginning of ego, where sometimes it feels like everything's falling apart or nothing's been happening. For some of us that might be job seeking or trying to find a partner or whatever, you may go through a period that feels like winter, but the cherry blossoms here also associated with one lunar cycle. So we're looking at starting now and finishing up in about a month's time. This is a period of renewal. So you'll see some of the beginnings this week, but remember that spring doesn't happen overnight. And I really do sense that this is going to be a 1-month journey for a lot of you. And the other thing that I'm looking at here is what feels like a volcano, which a lot of times we see something as inactive and then all of a sudden it activates. So I feel like you're going from a latent period of either no activity or not as much as you'd like to a period where a lot can happen and a lot can change. This is a change agent for me whenever I see a volcano. And again, this is showing growth and opportunity, so it's not destructive. This isn't the tower. This is just showing that things are still there. You can still activate and get in touch with the power and the energy that you need. And if you think of like Hawaii and the volcano sort of going into the ocean, it's expanding the land and it's creating new things. This is really what I'm getting from this card. 1 month of growth starting from this week. Be open to the opportunity. Feel like you're coming into spring after a long winter. All right, let's look now at the block for the week. And for the block this week, we have Apple card, and this is a bountiful card here, but what can be misconstrued with an apple is it's not always how it looks. Think of Red Delicious. It's a beautiful apple outwardly anyway, and you take a bite inside and it's kind of like fibery and not so tasty, and then you go and grab an organic one that has like all these scrapes on it and not so pretty, but it might taste delicious. And so you know, names and appearances are not exactly what they seem. So I really want you to be discerning and to keep an open mind this week and think of trying different things. You've got a whole basket here. You're not confined to one thing. So this could be different jobs. This could be a chance for romance, trying a different type of relationship that you wouldn't normally try, or dating a different type of person that you normally wouldn't date. And also seeing yourself as being in a bountiful period. Both of these cards came up reversed. I see that just as opportunity, that's why we're reading it. So it's a little bit late in here. So the first one is I'm just gonna hold them upright because I want us to focus on the upright energy. So again, blessing this week is that you're going to be entering a fertile period of opportunity and things starting to unfold. The block is not to sort of paint yourself into always doing the same thing, and also realizing that what looks good on paper or what looks good outwardly isn't always on the inside. So judge people by their actions, judge situations by what they sort of reveal to you, not what people think or what reputation might suggest. Okay, let's now dig a little deeper and look at each of the 7 days of the week. All right, we're gonna pull 7 cards. We'll do 5 on top, 2 on the bottom for the work week and of course for the weekend. Here we go. Let's begin with Monday. Monday we have 3 of Pentacles, a really great card, even in its reverse state, for those of you that are looking to try to present something. But with the reversal on this, what I would say is get a second set of eyes. This is a card of pausing before you submit something for approval, or again, to sell something, or even if you were trying to submit an application, maybe it's for a passport or for renting an apartment. I want you to go over it one more time, and if you're not good with proofreading, this is about allowing someone else to take a look and give you a nod of approval. I feel like a lot of you are very close. Just make sure that it's all word perfect, letter perfect, and that you haven't missed something. So allow someone else to take a look. Let's move on to Tuesday. For Tuesday, we have 9 of Swords. 9 of Swords is a card where you're often either making things worse than they are, or sometimes succumbing to the stress that other people might be putting on you. Not as much as perhaps like 10 of Wands or even the 10 of Swords, but with this, there's an opportunity to like take a deep breath and think to yourself, I'm gonna get through this. And if you need to ask for help. Self-care is really important on Tuesday. So if you feel like you're at the brink of an emotional outburst, by all means, do what you can to kind of like step away from a situation. So the word of the day would be like de-escalation, and you want to try to stay as neutral-minded as possible. But if it's not, we all have moments where we just can't ground ourselves. So if there's someone in your life that you can trust, and just ask and say, I'm having a hard time, can you step in and help me, or is this me? And this is the day where I think it's all about letting the ego fall away. So if someone provides you with feedback that doesn't resonate, or that you start to take personally, I had a great friend and advisor recently who reminded me that a lot of times when people come to you in either an angry state or in an emotionally elevated state, and they deliver things that don't make sense, it's really not about you. It's them presenting something that's going on. So try not to take it personal, try not to internalize. If none of that's going on, watch how you're sleeping. Try to avoid distractions and or caffeine before you go to bed, because the 9 of Swords is the quintessential insomnia card. And if you've had any difficult dreams or nightmares, journal through some of this and see what the symbols are about. Sometimes those really frightening dreams are going to reveal the biggest opportunities and growth potential that we have. So, if there's a recurring dream that you're having, if there's sort of an irrational fear, as a light worker, what you want to do is shine a light on it. You don't want to hide from it. You don't want to dig it deep inside. Just think, all right, that came up. I didn't like it. Why don't I like it? Why does it keep coming up? And how can I start to send love and light and positive energy into it so that new things can take its place? All right, let's move along to Wednesday. On Wednesday, we have the Fool reversed, and the Fool reversed has a few things for us to think about. The first is sort of an aversion or a fear of risk. And if this is you in maybe life, in business, in relationships, what you have to ask yourself is, what is creating the fear, or what is creating the uncertainty? Is it because you don't have enough information? If so, that's a fairly easy thing to kind of like chip away at. If it's a fear of failure / success, this is a tougher thing. A lot of us want sort of predictability. And what I'm seeing on Wednesday is there's going to be some opportunities or a situation in your life that you've been kind of putting on the back burner that now comes back, and you have to face the fear of like, why am I not doing something that I want, or why am I not taking this risk? So the Fool upright is someone who is not always overthinking things. They should. There are risks, but the Fool reversed is about knowing when a calculated risk makes sense. So if it makes sense for you and you've done all the research, then it's okay to move forward. If not, then this card is saying pause and get comfortable with the decision, but don't just let it sit because you're afraid of it. The fear has to be erased with rational thinking, research, and possibly the support and love of other people around you. As a general note on health, this card says many of you are overdue to get outside and walk, to get on your feet, basically. Either on or off. If you're working like as a waiter, or if you're an athlete and you're always on your feet, this card is saying take care of yourself. If you're sitting too much, like a lot of us do with technical jobs, then what you need to do is make sure that you're getting up. But pay attention to your legs in particular and see what's going on. Either too much or not enough action is what I'm picking up on. Let's take a look now at Thursday. We have 10 of Cups in reverse. 10 of Cups is a card that specifically speaks to the relationships around us. And when I see it reversed, I see the word need, or I feel that the energy is pouring from you to others rather than the reverse. And so what's going to be happening here then is people in your life may be needing a shoulder to cry on. There may be some even some celebrations where people want you to take part in that, but it's more about the focus being on them. So what you want to try to do on Thursday is to create boundaries, to realize you don't have to say yes to everything, or you don't have to help everyone in your friend circle, and make sure that you are also getting things done for yourself. And if there's a part of your life or part of your agenda that needs assistance and needs support, maybe you're moving, maybe there's just a lot on your plate, whether or not you work, you just need some assistance, pick up the phone and talk to a friend or call someone. Because I have a feeling that a lot of you are sometimes the first person that people will go to when they need help, but you may not always be willing to ask for help. So that's really what this day is about, is speaking up, taking what you need, and then giving what you feel comfortable in return. There needs to be balance. There needs to be a sense of reciprocity. As we look at the end of the work week on Friday, we have Page of Pentacles in reverse, which is showing opportunities to ground yourself, to feel that especially if any of the fear that's crept up from maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, if you're still feeling that, this is the day to really wrap your head around it and try to erase it so that you can have a productive weekend, because I see two really great cards for the weekend. So focus on figuring out if there's anything that's still bothering you, to take care of it, to make an appointment with someone that could help you, whether it's a doctor, a therapist, an advisor, or a best friend. Get that grounding that you need. This is a day where you also want to pay attention to, for those of you that take medicine, to really make sure that you're not missing any doses, to also make sure that your chemistry is where it needs to be. So if you felt for a while that something's not effective, this is a good time to reach out, maybe get a second opinion, and see if you still need to be on a certain type of medication, etc. You need to do that with doctor's approval, of course. The other thing with this is if you're feeling that you are a little lightheaded or whatever, there's nutritional elements with the Page of Pentacles card, which is saying make sure that you're getting enough protein and that you're also eating enough meals throughout the day. Of course, the money components of this card indicate that there's going to be more spending than receiving. So spending of energy, spending of resources, spending of time. So you're going to have to be really good at your budgeting skills on Friday. I wouldn't do any major investments either. This is a day to research, but I would push back on major purchases and investments. Much better day is Monday for that. Okay, the weekend looks great, I have to say, even with reversals. We have the Six of Wands in reverse, which is reminding you to not pay attention to what others are thinking, and to have faith that what you're doing is already bringing you to the desired outcome. Don't let other people get into your headspace. Stay focused and bring forward the best work product possible, or the best effort possible. So if you're having challenges in friendships or love relationships, this is saying just keep working on it and know that you're going to work through it. You have to have that faith and just continue the great work ethic. Same thing with a job or with any part of your life. If you're trying to get fit or if you're trying to do home improvements, just don't give up. This is a day to keep putting good energy into whatever you want to see manifest. So that's Saturday. As we look at Sunday, this is a day where there's so many possible areas where you could use your energy that you want to focus on not overextending yourself. The Magician Reverse is a card of manifestation, but about running yourself ragged, or sometimes not putting the attention that you need to in key elements of your life. So don't try to do everything for everyone, and when possible, really try to make a schedule or an agenda for the day so that you'll be all right. For those of you that struggle with addictions or are trying to get over a bad habit, there could be temptation on Sunday. So stay strong and avoid activities or things in your life that could bring about temptation. For everybody else, good day for meditation, great day for productivity. You can turn this card around just by thinking, I'm going to put most of my energy into this. The Magician card, upright or reverse, is very good, but when it's reversed, you're not maximizing your ability to manifest. So let's quickly review the week, and then we'll move along to the extended forecast. Actually, I'm going to review everything that we just talked about, and then we'll go to the extended forecast of all the signs. So your channeled information over the course of this week is to really step aside from your ego, knowing that once you do so, it actually allows you to move forward. Let it fall away, let it open like a flower. And as we looked at the blessing, interesting that we got cherry blossoms. Cherry blossoms associated with a period of renewal after a period that you may feel like you're either stuck or stagnant. The block for the week is to not take everything by the surface or the cover or by reputation. You're really going to have to dig a little bit deeper and try something new, and also expect the unexpected. As we look at the week itself, Monday's a great day for getting things done, but you are going to need a second set of eyes on key documents. On Tuesday, practice good self-care, getting enough sleep, and also trying to bring yourself to more of a neutral mind. Avoid conflict, avoid starting a lawsuit or difficult negotiation on Tuesday. On Wednesday, there's a chance for a risk, but a risk with big payoff, and you have to decide, is it worth the chance, is it worth the risk? For those of you that don't feel like that resonates, a general note to either reduce or increase your activity based on what your normal habits are. Just pay attention to your extremities, particularly your legs, your feet, your ankles. And also watch where you're going. There is a chance for injury for some of you on that day, so just be careful. Don't text and walk, don't text and drive, of course. Pay attention. On Thursday, a lot of people may be asking of your time and energy. Make sure that you dole it out according to how much you're ready and willing to give, but take care of yourself. Keep a little bit. Don't be afraid to ask for help as well. Friday, avoid major purchases. Make sure you're eating enough. Stay grounded. And this is another day that you want to focus on what others need and how that kind of feels for you. It's not just about yourself. You have to take input. Good day for research. The weekend is great overall. Just keep working hard on Saturday and know that whatever you're trying to accomplish, there's a lot of energy that supports it. And on Sunday, stay focused. Avoid temptation. And if you do that, you'll have a great chance for getting a lot of work done. All right, that's it for the 7 days of the week. Now let's take a look at the extended forecast, looking at every zodiac sign. Let's begin now with Aries. Aries, your channeled information this week is quite a beautiful image, actually. I saw you emerging from water, almost like a fish or a whale. A lot of energy coming with that shift or that movement. It's coming from one element and going into another. And because I saw the image going from water to air, this is going to be from a period of emotional intensity to a time when you want to think through things a lot, when you want to start to take action on it. And so your channeled information is momentum. I did want to capture those little thoughts underneath it though, which is that the momentum or this forward motion can actually help you get caught up if you've had things that you haven't been able to do. And I see you getting your head above water or getting ahead. So great energy for you, available to you this week. And think about that image that I was just talking about, which was moving from one element to the next. So let go of emotions and embrace activity. And what we got for you in the cards this week is the beautiful Queen of Pentacles. So whether you're coming from a period of abundance or a period of lacking, you're going to be able to take what's in front of you and do something bountiful with it. So that might be a new idea, that might be an idea for how to take an investment and make it grow. The other thing this week, a really good time to spend with your children if you have them, or with your parents, because for me this is a very maternal card, often associated with mothers or people in your life that you feel a close sort of kinship to. All right, so a great week ahead for you. Now let's move along to Taurus. Taurus, your channeled information this week is to rise above. I saw a picture of a bird flying high above a horizon, and so there's going to be, for some of you, travel this week, and a need for you maybe to reach out to people that you haven't talked to or maybe even understood for a long time. So empathizing, doing research, cultural research as well. For others of you, that idea of going high is really about taking a situation that might be sort of, for lack of a better word, it could be uncomfortable or ugly, and what you're going to have to do is elevate and demonstrate the best way to resolve this situation. So instead of arguing, or instead of mirroring back whatever challenging dialogue is coming your way, you're going to find an articulate and a sensible and a sensitive way to really confirm and affirm people's complaints or feedback, and then come to it with a solution. So Taurus, let's take a look now and see what the cards have to say for this week. See if it's a continuation of that or if there's some additional information. Your message this week is to not lose track of details. I want you really to pay attention to anything that you want to see completed. With the reversal of this, this is for you this week, sadly, a case where you might have to take ownership of something rather than delegating, and really go through with either a red pen or a fine-tooth comb and highlight what is missing. It is necessary sometimes to just finish something or help somebody with it, but there's going to be a chance, an opportunity, in fact, for many of you, a need to guide and to set examples. And for those of you that are looking to expand your skill set, I always associate the Eight of Pentacles with hard work that yields great results. So great time to put energy into research, into going back to school, into a project that you really care about. It's going to pay off, but you have to do the work. Now let's move along to Gemini. Gemini, this week there may be a little bit of an internal challenge for you, more on the emotional side, to just take the higher road. And this is something that I've seen that is kind of going across all the signs this week, but I want you to stay as positive as possible. And whenever it's something that you actually can do, I want you to go towards levity or towards light. And so sometimes this is going to mean trying to find the humor in a difficult situation, not making fun of people, but maybe seeing that if you could laugh at yourself, or if you could just laugh at the insanity of things that are going on, you can alleviate the stress. Because we can either take it to a place where we start to cry or yell, or we can laugh, or we can breathe. And I really want you to go towards those kinder and lighter elements of your emotions and your being. That's going to really be easier for you to work and everyone to work around you as well. So stay positive, remembering also that you are what you think. So I want you to start to manifest positive things, start to think positive things, because if you have good self-esteem and also have a healthy, positive approach towards the possibilities in your life, then that becomes a really nice magnetic energy. When you start to think that things aren't going to happen, or you start to go towards the negative too much, then you start to push and repel opportunities from your life. All right, let's see what the cards have to add to this discussion for this week for you. So your card message this week is basically to avoid fear. So the Two of Swords is an interesting card. A lot of times what happens with this is you're at a decision point where there may not be one outcome that is significantly better than the other. There may be something that both sides have to lose, or that you really can't figure out what should I do next. When I see this, it's really an indication that you're going to have to trust yourself. Do what you need to push through what might be a difficult decision and then move forward. The other thing with this is that typically things aren't as bad as they seem. You notice this woman is blindfolded, and what's important is just to keep your mind open, your eyes open, your ears open. You might also stumble upon a solution when you stop kind of getting in the emotion of the moment, stop freaking out. So it's okay to have that emotional, real moment, but then step outside of it. So don't be afraid, try new things, make a decision if you need to, and listen, because again, sometimes what we're looking for is right in front of us. It's like if you lose your keys and you spend 30 minutes looking and then you realize it's in your pocket or it's hidden under a paper on the table. You just have to take a deep breath, retrace your thoughts, and think, what do I think I should do, or how did I get here? And really that's what it is kind of centering yourself and thinking, what led you to this position? What tools do you have to make it go away or to improve it, and then move forward, okay? Let's tune into Cancer now. As I started to look at your energy this week, what I started to see were seeds germinating. So growth, productivity, and a period of opportunity. So your channeled information is to really try to be as productive as possible. And this especially is true for areas of work, school, and finances. So anything in your life where again, you're going to be putting a lot of practical energy, it's going to be well spent this week. And I know for a water sign and an emotional sign, this may sound strange, but I do feel that the more you ground yourself and the more that you focus on those practical matters I just highlighted, the more effective your energy is going to be, the more effective you'll be using it, I should say, this week. Let's take a look at the cards and see if they offer additional insights for you. And we'll give it a good shuffle. Your card for this week is Seven of Pentacles. So that really does support what I was just talking about. This is a card of slow but steady recovery, and the reversal of this is really showing you that you want to focus more on saving than spending. And there may still be areas of your life where you're trying to get caught up, or that you might have to stretch the budget a little bit. So really shop around for the best interest rate if that's something that's going to be important for you, whether it's a mortgage or a car loan or a credit card. Make sure that you're getting the best rate call if it's a credit card, and see if you can negotiate a lower rate, or see if you can do a balance transfer or something like that. For savings, this is saying you still have some work to do, but you're on the right path. It is a card of growth, and you'll notice that money is literally growing on a bush or a tree here. So I want you to see that whatever energy you put into those things that I highlighted here, work, school, and finances, particularly finances, since coins or pentacles is controlling finances, I think you're going to really be satisfied with that energy. So this is sometimes coming through when you need to pay attention to it, or you need to cultivate it, so don't be afraid to do so. All right, let's move along to the next sign. Looking at Leo. For you, really as I was tuning in, I took a nice deep breath, and I realized that the week ahead is going to be one of release. And for you, what would be really ideal is to try to set aside some quiet time. So I had release distractions as your channeled information, and whether I actually saw sort of like hands on ears. So whether you put on headphones or try to like put some white noise on in your bedroom, or somehow find a quiet space, it's going to be really helpful in taking your emotional state, evening it out, de-stressing you from anything that you've been taking on from the day, and allowing for your mind, body, and spirit to reach a state of equilibrium. So work on finding quiet or creating calm in your living situation. Let's now take a look at the cards and see what additional information wants to come through. And your supplemental information this week is the Hierophant. The Hierophant is a card that reminds you to pay attention to hierarchy. And so in a community that you live, this could be about traditions, and knowing that some traditions are going to be hard to break, or that you're going to have to work really hard to have people see your point of view. So I see a rigidity and a pushback for some of you. And if there's something you're passionate about, or if you're involved in politics or social justice, this is saying slow and steady wins the race. For the rest of you, this is a card that is reminding you to stay on top of things. The Hierophant, much like any of the Queen or King cards, like the emperor or the empress, is saying don't lose track of anything in your life that's important. So that can be legal decisions, finances, etc. If you're in business, don't delegate those types of decisions. You want to be there. You want to be the one signing and reviewing contracts. Okay? And also just for those of you in relationships, this is a reminder for you to try not to be too bossy, and if your partner's being bossy or being kind of closed off, stepping away is probably the best thing. Just allowing for a period of, again, going back to your channeled information, releasing the distractions. I would also say releasing any kind of arguments or things that are pulling you away from being productive. Okay, let's now look at the next sign, Virgo. What's really important for you this week is to keep your word. I saw the scales of justice, and for me that's always about being fair. It can also indicate a Libra in your life that is going to hold you to a commitment, or you might need to hold them to something that they said. But your channeled information is to be as fair as possible, justice, and to also achieve a balance in your life wherever it doesn't exist, because that's really what the scales do. So if someone in your life is acting in a way that is unkind, unfair, or contrary to what they promised, hold them to the original promise, but also investigate and see what led them to stray. Don't assume that people are doing something wrong until you've gotten all the details. Everyone's innocent until proven guilty. Your job is just to stay balanced and to create balance in your life this week. Let's take a look now and see what the cards have to say for you, Virgo. Your message this week is to focus on physical strength and to also try not to sort of play upon in someone else's story, whether it's an argument or if you have someone in your life that will consistently say, isn't that right? When you know that it probably isn't, but it's sort of a habit that they have. You could say, well, do you want my feedback on that, or do you just need my support? You can kind of gently let them know that you're not going to just sort of be their yes person, and also you're not going to be manipulated. As a part of your own health, this is saying pay special attention to aches and pains in the body. If something's going on that doesn't feel right, you need to talk to a doctor about it. If you're just sort of at a place where you haven't been working out or taking care of yourself, this card is reminding you to make sure that your physical health is not being put on the back burner. It's very important. Let's focus now on Libra. Libra, as I'm tuning into your energy, I have a symbol that came to my mind. It was two hands and a picture of a heart, the symbolic heart that you would see in emojis. And for me, this is really speaking to taking something you love in your life and making that center stage, working your passion, living your passion, going after what it is that you want. I essentially want you to focus on whatever excites you about getting up in the morning, whatever you feel most passionate about. Some of you might have to sit and think about that. Many of you already know it's an easy question and an easy answer. You know that, oh, I'm an artist, or I'm a doctor, or I love reading, or whatever it is. But I want you to take what brings you most happiness or accomplishment or passion in your life and really try to make that happen each day. And if you're not in a place where the passion is a reality, I want you to take your first steps towards feeling alive and feeling like you're starting to go after what you love. This isn't something that's just for kids. As an adult, we still have to have dreams, and we have to chip away at them. Otherwise, it can be very frustrating. So find a passion if you don't have it, or take your passion, manifest it. All right? Now let's pull a card and see what additional information wants to come through for you. And we have the Four of Swords, which is saying that many of you may actually benefit from a vacation, a period of rest, or a period of contemplation. So if you have been working yourself too hard, if you couldn't answer that question about what it is that gets you excited to wake up in the morning, then I want you to spend some time before you go to sleep or during your meditation and really allow yourself to dream. As adults, we don't always get that chance. As children, we're allowed to change our mind every day. So I'm giving you encouragement right now. You don't need permission. You can do it yourself, but I'm giving you a nudge to really dream a little bit and just sit with it. And then once you know, you can follow the channeled information, which was to take action and make a plan so that it's not just a dream. But in order to do that, you are going to need some quiet time. Take care of yourself and rest. For those of you that aren't sleeping enough, Four of Swords is saying you definitely need to remedy that. And for those of you that don't feel ready to make a decision this week, that card is actually allowing you some time. You might want to push things off for a week and just rest with it, sit with it, and it's a week where it's okay to be inactive in other areas of your life, okay? Let's take a look now at Scorpio. Scorpio, as I was meditating on your sign, I saw a very small pinpoint of light, and then it expanded exponentially, almost like the Big Bang. And I got a word with it, or a series of words that said, don't underestimate. And so what I'm seeing for you, and I'll pull that card up for a moment here, don't underestimate yourself, don't underestimate people, places, or things in your life. So one thing that you can read in this is to be prepared. So if you have an interview or an important event in your life, do all of the prep work possible and necessary, and don't underestimate or don't take for granted this opportunity. The other part of this is about self-esteem and appreciating that whatever opportunities you've created or manifested in your life, you played a pivotal part. And you don't want to underestimate yourself, because in essence what that will do is take away your power. So I want you to see yourself as fully responsible for some of the great things that have happened in your life. Also, equally as responsible for some of the things that you haven't liked, but you are in control. And so don't underestimate your ability to push the needle in the direction that you want to go. And if you're on the right trajectory, don't think that it's going to end. Just think, I finally understand. I'm manifesting what I want. And if you're not going the way you want, turn the wheel and start heading in that direction and think, okay, but I can change. I can change it. And so that's really it. You're a change agent. But I captured that in this phrase, don't underestimate yourself, and that idea that you can take and start something from a very small point and it can grow. So your dreams, don't underestimate the potential for them to take off. And yeah, dream big. That's really what I'm thinking for you. Let's look at the cards and see what else is coming through. Your supplemental information for this week is Nine of Pentacles. This is a card of actually rapid growth for many of you. So if there's been a period where things haven't happened, this can show, kind of like I was seeing with the explosion, the Big Bang, particularly with work, finances, and material wealth or comfort in your life, things are going to improve quite a bit. We've got the number 9 on this, so we're looking at possibly 3/4 of the year. June of next year is looking really good for most of you. Okay, now let's move on to the next sign, Sagittarius. What I started to see for you as I was tuning into your energy was like a clock moving around, alarms going off. What's really important this week is absolutely to be punctual, to be prompt, to be proactive. Don't wait for other people in your life to sort of raise their hand and say, did you do this? Or where are we on this? Or for your partner to have to say, I asked 5 times for this. Just proactively pick up the phone and say, hey, guess what? I haven't forgotten about our dinner date this week. Or, you know what? I paid the bill that you asked me to pay, and maybe it's your roommate or whatever. Just reach out, let people know that you've taken care of things. It's going to make your life a lot easier. So proactivity, promptness, preparedness, all really important for you this week. And let's take a look at the cards and see if there's some additional information coming through for you. The other thing with the fact that I was seeing all the clocks, you may have the ability to push back or even accelerate some deadlines if you need to get things to happen slower or faster. Just realize that you have a say in that. All right, your card this week is, it's reminding you that it might be an important time for you to take a business trip, to separate a little bit from what's going on, because the Six of Swords is a card of stepping away. So there might be a relationship, a habit, a person in your life that you need some space from. And this card is usually one where you don't necessarily need to have the conversation. You can just start to pull back a little bit energetically. And also for those of you that are looking for new opportunities, maybe a new job or new house, the Six of Swords is really speaking to the fact that you might need to go out of your comfort zone or the area that you're currently looking. So expand your radius for things that you're looking for in your life, especially if it's about jobs, opportunities, even love interests. You want to look a little bit further than you normally would. So long distance is basically the message this week for opportunity, and then for some of you, creating distance if you need time to think about things. Let's take a look now at Capricorn. So for this, I actually got a quick flash of a tarot card. I saw the Hierophant, and what I was intuiting when I got that image was it's a good time for you to take counsel, to listen to advice, to seek out the wisdom of elders or trusted people in your life. So seeking counsel, seeking wisdom, a good time for those of you that might be looking to start up a court case or legal proceeding, or wanting to kind of get your affairs in order. You want to find a professional that you trust. So lawyers, accountants, etc. Do your research, find the best person, and don't take things into your own hand until you've had a chance to really get information from someone that knows what they're talking about. All right, let's see what the cards have to say for this week. Don't limit yourself. We have the Seven of Cups, and the Seven of Cups upright is really a card that gives you permission to dream, to try new things, and it's a card of research, which when I was looking at actually Friday of the week, when I was looking at the 7 days of the week, a good time for that. So really take in and do the research. You're eventually going to have to come to a decision, but I don't think it's going to happen for you this week. Allow for this to just be a time for dreaming, for expansion, and for opportunity to present itself. Now let's take a look at Aquarius. Aquarius, as I tuned into your energy this week, the image that came through was a snail. And the snail was moving along, but seemed quite happy, if a snail can be happy. And what I inferred from this image or from this symbol was that you can't be rushed this week. And that as I thought of a word that would sum up the image, it was deliberate. And as I looked at the root of the word, there's actually freedom that comes through taking your time. And just so that I capture all shades of meaning with deliberate, it basically says consciously and intentionally on purpose, in a careful and unhurried way. And so I like everything about that, because we shouldn't be doing anything that isn't intentional or that we aren't really fully behind. So I think the message this week is don't get pushed into something. If you have to make a big decision or if you have to commit to something, have all the information. You don't have to rush. Sometimes rushing makes it much worse. Take your time, slowly move forward. It's much easier to speed up somewhere down the line, but you can't go back and undo things. So take your time and realize that there's going to be freedom to possibly have a new opportunity come through because you didn't rush to the finish. Let's take a look now and see what the cards have to say for this week. We have the Six of Cups in reverse, and what this is really talking about is your chance to reach out and to spend a little bit more time with friends, with family, with children in your life that you care about. And there's either been some distance or an opportunity maybe to catch up. This is your turn to pick up the phone, to reach out. If you don't really have that kind of extended family or friends in your life, this is also speaking about the playful nature of children. What they do that we don't do as adults is they don't carry a grudge so much. They let their emotions out, sometimes in a crazy and temper tantrum sort of way, but they get it out. So what I want you to do this week is to have fun. If you're holding in a lot of emotions, maybe it is good to sort of cry it out, to work it out in creative endeavors, writing, art, dance, etc. Working out for those of you that really aren't much of a person for expression. But you need to find a way to get the feelings out so that your body can relax, so that your mind can relax. It's going to help you with your sleep. You're going to feel better, and you have to somehow let it out. As an air sign, it makes a lot of sense for you to talk, if that works as well. So pick up the phone, talk to an old friend. That can also be what this is about. But again, if you're finding yourself in a place where your friends aren't accessible or you don't have a really big network, then you can try one of those release methods that I just mentioned. Now let's take a look at Pisces. Pisces, your information this week, as I was tuning into your sign, is really about paying attention to small details, all the fine print, and also it's a really good week for you to either create a contract or to establish a business or to bring something into a physical form. So it's building, construction, and also contracts. So really good week for making something final in all of those regards. So contracts and details is what came through for you. In all parts of your life where this can kind of manifest, look at your bank statement. There might be something that you see that is fraudulent or that is unnecessary, and you can bring that up to your bank or your credit card. Take a look at if you're signing a mortgage or if you're signing some sort of a lease. Make sure that you agree to everything that's stated on that contract because it's binding. And pay attention to the little details in your house. Make sure that the roof is fixed. Make sure that your car is fully running. So if it's been too many months since you've changed your oil or fixed your tires or just had a regular checkup, do that likewise in your health, mind, and body. I want you to pay attention to small things. But I do see it as being a good week to either sort out, complete, or establish contracts. All right, let's see if the cards have additional insight for you this week. Your message this week is major changes. I do have the Tower upright, so this could be, that's why I'm getting contracts and details. Some of you might be getting a new job, getting a new house, or letting go of one of those two things. It could also mean a breakup or a new relationship starting. You could be adopting someone in your life. I see significant changes happening this week for you, so embrace them, see the possibilities in those, and you should be in a good place. The Tower isn't always a bad thing. However, I will say this, there's always things that you want to be prepared with when you see this card. Make sure that you are up to date on insurance, that you are doing things to take care of the safety and protection of your house, your body, and the people that you love in your life. So security systems, locking the door, things as simple as that. Make sure your passwords are up to date. All of these things will help when you get the Tower card. That brings this weekly reading to a close, so I'd just like to say thank you so much. I really do appreciate the fact that you decided to spend some time here. You have a lot of choices here on YouTube and also in life in general, so thank you for joining me here. If you'd like to stay in touch, the easiest way to do so is to subscribe to this channel. You can opt into just the channel itself, or if you'd like notifications of when I post videos, make sure you click on that bell as well. I also have a newsletter, and there's a link in the description area below, and that will go out every week and also at the first of every month, so you'll know when I put out new videos. Likewise, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, so if you're there, feel free to join me. I'd love to have you subscribe or like those pages. Also, since this was a general forecast, if you'd ever like a one-on-one reading to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny in your own life, I do offer those. There's a link in the description area and also embedded in the video where you can take a look at my rates and availability. Finally, if this was really helpful and you'd like to give back, I have a couple ways you can do that. The easiest probably is to go to my website, and there's PayPal, Stripe, and Patreon options there, so you can choose whatever's convenient. But like I said, I'm also on Patreon, so if you'd like to donate on a more consistent basis once a month, you can do it for as little as $1. Lastly, I just want to wish you all the best this week and remind you of the blessings and blocks. We are coming into a period now of growth, and remember that your power still exists. Give yourself a month to really see change start to manifest. Be picky, be discerning, take your time, and remember that things aren't always what they seem. There's a lot of options ahead for you. Don't always take them at face value. Investigate, and that's really what this apple basket is all about. All right, wishing you all the best. Much love, light, success. I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.